Coming up on CitySpan, City Council retreats on the 2014 budget. What's in it for you? Rocking and rolling through the city streets, it takes more than just a foot patrol. And stargazing in Savannah, the future of film is looking bright. Stay tuned, CitySpan starts right now. Hello everyone, I'm Brett Bell. Welcome to CitySpan, your source for news and information about Savannah City government. First up, it's the end of the year. For much of Savannah, that means the start of your holiday season. But for your city government, that means creation of the annual budget. City Council has worked with the city manager to create a 2014 budget that is making news for what it doesn't do. It doesn't raise the property tax rate, and in fact keeps our millage rate at the lowest level in nearly 30 years. This, despite some serious fiscal challenges facing city coffers. A renegotiation of the way sales tax is distributed means the city will receive a $6 million reduction in revenue next year. This, combined with increasing healthcare costs, meant tough decisions for the city. City Manager Stephanie Cutter employed a lean thinking strategy that found new savings by reducing our vehicle fleet size and focusing on frontline employees while reducing vacant administrative positions. This action, combined with a draw from a special reserve fund created for downturns in the sales tax revenue, produced a balanced 2014 budget.
Our staff, along with the city manager and her top staff, have worked very diligently to make sure that we have a balanced budget. And that is what is most important, because we made a commitment to the residents of this community that we would not raise taxes. And as you listen to what the staff is talking about and how they have had to look at their budgets, cut in their budgets, you know that they are serious, and they know that they're helping us to keep Savannah as a very sound community when it comes to the fiscal area.
I am quite pleased at the approach that was taken in preparation of the 2014 budget. It was not the typical process. Everyone was very engaged in terms of looking at how we provide the services that we provide, whether it's scheduling or whether or not it was a better way to provide the services, and incorporate more efficient measures, thus producing significant savings.
There are several enhancements in the budget. New next year will be a tourism office to better manage Savannah's second biggest industry. A new Office of Sustainability will be tasked with reducing our energy usage. And the city plans on starting a number of major construction projects. Among them, 3 major drainage projects, a new police training center, the redevelopment of the President Street Extension, and a new cultural arts center. 18,000 runners flooded Savannah for the 3rd annual Rock and Roll Marathon in November. While the event is a boon for the local economy, it is a daunting security event. But months of planning and preparation, along with unprecedented coordination by local public safety personnel, led to another successful year. CitySpan's Jody Jenkins has more.
It's like pouring sand through a funnel. 18,000 runners through the Rock and Roll Marathon start line in front of City Hall in November, rolling out in waves along Bay Street. It looks easy, fun, but to get to this, you need a lot of this. A meeting of race, police, sheriff, EMS, and numerous other officials at Savannah Chatham Metro headquarters to coordinate not only the 18,000 people flooding into downtown on race day, but to make sure things go off without a hitch throughout the sprawling 26-mile course. Sergeant Edward Grant, Special Events Coordinator for the Savannah Chatham Metro Police, says the first big challenge is getting people where they need to be for the race to begin.
When you figure 18,000 people need to get to one start line in the beginning, it can get kind of chaotic at times. And I think one thing we've learned from years past and have really done well this year is focusing, getting all of those people to the start line safely so that they can start the race and have a good time.
But once everything's underway, the big challenge is making sure things go off without a hitch throughout the entire course of the marathon. Unlike St. Patrick's Day, which is much bigger in terms of numbers but is fairly contained, Rock and Roll is 26 miles of serpentine race course, much of it right through the heart of the city.
The route is always the biggest issue because of it being a full marathon and having different components, because the full marathon is 26 miles long, because you're spanning such an area of the city, you're cutting certain areas apart and with runners. So it's always hard for us to look at accomplishing this without cutting off the city, without burdening people's day-to-day affairs.
Grant said safety is always a concern at such events, and organizers closely studied the Boston Marathon for lessons learned there. And while he didn't want to talk specifics, he did say the number of security officers involved in Rock and Roll was large, and the security measures extensive. This year's race was the smoothest to date, no doubt a harbinger of many good Rock and Roll marathons to come. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins.
Fall has become festival season in Savannah. We've now got festivals celebrating food, celebrating beer, celebrating Latin culture, even celebrating the joy of picnicking in Forsyth Park. But it's the Savannah Film Festival that has emerged as our most successful fall event. And while the glitter and glam may be gone for another year, the Savannah Film Festival's impact remains.
While film has always been big business, film festivals as a business unto themselves have exploded across America over the last 20 years. Not only for the love of the silver screen, but for the feel-good vibe that goes along with it, and the instant economic jolt. That's why the city of Savannah has been one of the biggest backers of the Savannah Film Festival, $50,000 in 2013. And while that may seem like a lot just to watch movies, the return on investment is enormous.
The direct expenditure for 2012, I don't have 2013 figures now, was about $636,000, and that's direct spending using no multipliers. So that's a pretty good return on the investment for $50,000. And I do feel like you do see a measurable result. You look at the number of hotel rooms that the film festival purchases, not only for the actors and the directors, but also for the tourists that come here. It's also the length of the festival drives those hotel nights into a longer period of time, because typically we think of Savannah being a 3-day city, and this drives it into an 8 to 10 day.
If you factor in everything from popcorn to meals to memorabilia, the numbers just keep going up. Not to mention the prestige that high-profile actors and producers and directors bring to town.
The people on the screen were touching me. I could hear them. I could, feel them.
So that the audience can see what is happening to the character, what the character is feeling.
It gets Savannah a second look, not only from potential tourists, but from film companies, as a possible location for the next big deal.
Thank you.
Marketing the film festival is, in essence, marketing Savannah itself.
The film festival, like the music festival, like the book festival, and some other events, maybe even the Rock and Roll Marathon for that matter, are really establishing themselves as marquee events on our calendar. And as a result, we're attracting a different type of visitor to our city, and a visitor that's likelier to stay a little longer, spend a little bit more money, and come back again. So that's a real positive for us. I think you look at it from a jobs perspective. I think you look at it in terms of, the local SPLOST that was recently passed, and the fact that somewhere around 35–40% of those SPLOST dollars are coming from visitors to our city. And then I think you think of it from a perspective of economic development and the fact that we have to showcase our city first.
By high-profile events like the film festival that help keep Savannah in the national eye. With the largest film studio in North America breaking ground in Effingham County, and North Carolina ending its tax breaks for film, no doubt more productions will gravitate to Georgia, which offers healthy tax incentives. The future of film in Savannah is looking bright, which can only mean good things for the Savannah Film Festival. Reporting for CitySpan, I'm Jody Jenkins.
Coming up on CitySpan, recognizing history on Savannah's west side, and later, celebrating the power of the written word. Thanks to the hard work of neighborhood leaders, city staff, and the Metropolitan Planning Commission, a significant piece of Savannah's history is one step closer to achieving national recognition. Work is underway to have the Carver Village neighborhood on Savannah's west side placed on the National Register of Historic Places. And while the process has been lengthy and tedious, the hard work is starting to pay off.
The process started that we got together with the MPC and with the city. We filled out the application to the state of Georgia and we sent it in asking for a survey block grant, a historical survey block grant.
What the MPC did was help the city of Savannah apply for a grant to fund a historic resources survey for the Carver Village neighborhood. All the properties in the neighborhood have to be surveyed, and then a determination of eligibility is granted by the state Department of Natural Resources. Obviously, MPC doesn't have the resources. We have the expertise, but not the resources to carry out a survey ourselves. Carver Village has approximately 600 resources. So what the MPC did with the grant funds was created a request for proposals for qualified preservation consultants to carry out the survey. And then we selected Greenhouse Consultants. They're a cultural resources firm based out of Atlanta. And about a year ago, they began the survey process and individually surveyed 600 resources on basically a standard state document that requires specific information. And then they write a report which sums up the history, sums up the condition of the historic resources, and makes a recommendation or preliminary determination of if they think the neighborhood's going to be eligible or not. And then all this information is submitted to the Historic Preservation Division for the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. And they're actually the ones that make a determination based on that information that's provided, whether a neighborhood is eligible for listing or not.
On November 4th of this year, we got the letter back from the state that says we are definitely historical and we're eligible for the National Register. And so we're beginning that process now. We are beginning to collect more data, collect more history from the members of this community who have access to that, but we're going to present that to the national board.
Carver Village was determined eligible based on African American history and African American development, and also the fact that Cletus Bergen, a local Savannah architect, designed the template house for this neighborhood. So that's what they determined it eligible upon. So they want more information on those subjects specifically when you apply for National Register listing.
The Carver Village development, also a 600 family unit project, is the largest individually owned Negro housing project in the world.
Carver Village has a story to tell. And the story begins when the federal government decided that the veterans coming from World War II needed affordable housing. And so the area was identified, and the federal government bought the land from the landowners at the time. And they got with Mayor Kennedy, who was the mayor of the city, and the aldermen at that time and established the property, and they started to make available to veterans coming out of World War II homes at affordable price. We laugh all the time if things could only be that way now, because the veterans told me they paid $100 down and $20 a month. Those stories need to be told, and I take it upon myself to make sure that the story is told correctly. I'm just waiting till that date that we can put that marker in the ground. In fact, the association has come up with our own logo and declaring, that it's historical in nature, because there is a history and there is a story to be told in Carver Village. And I'm passionate about that story getting told.
We'll keep you posted as this process continues. Do you want your holidays merry and bright? Metro Police have a few simple safety tips that can help protect you and your valuables. Metro's Michelle Gavin has more.
As the weather turns colder and the holidays approach, it's important for all of us to take extra precautions when it comes to keeping ourselves and our cars safe. Savannah-Chatham Metro Police Crime Prevention Officer Samantha Stevens says one of the biggest mistakes she sees drivers make this time of year is warming up their vehicles and then leaving them unattended.
As far as crime prevention goes, we want people to be aware that they don't have to preheat their cars in order to get ready for the day. We understand that it's quite comfortable to get into a warm car after leaving a warm home, but most importantly that if they preheat their cars, they should be with them.
Her advice? Don't walk away from your car while it's running, even if you're just running into the store for a minute.
That's usually the response. I was only gone for just a minute. And that's actually all it takes, just a minute for them to take your car, a few seconds.
Officer Stevens says thieves are also looking for folks who leave their cars unlocked. More than half of the cars broken into are not locked. And in 40% of the theft cases, thieves could see the valuables before they even broke into the car.
One of the biggest problems we see are just things left in plain view.
Everything from shopping bags to purses and electronics.
One of the things that you're going to want to make sure of is that when you remove your GPS from your dash or from your window, that you have like a baby wipe or something, and try to remove that little circle that indicates that there's a GPS in the car.
Southside Precinct Officer Craig Field says shopping center parking lots are a prime hunting ground for thieves, especially this time of year when people are spending a lot more time and money at the mall.
Not specifically a certain item that they're looking for, it's just a crime opportunity.
Whether your car is parked at work, at the store, or at home. If you park your car in the driveway or in front of your home, you also need to be mindful for thieves. That means lock your car, hide all the valuables, and never leave your car keys or the spare inside your car. Officers want to emphasize they are trying to help citizens, not blame victims.
This isn't a way to say shame on you. This is a way to say, let's help us. Keep yourself safe. Our first line of defense is you. If you make it harder for our criminals to have access to you or your items, then it makes it easier for us to work to help prevent and to catch criminals.
And make the holidays a little safer for all of us. For the Savannah-Chatham Metropolitan Police Department, I'm Michelle Gavin.
Each month on CitySpan, we team up with the folks at Bank on Savannah, an initiative of Step Up Savannah, to provide you with easy tips to help you make the most of your money. With more, here's Richard Reeve from the Consumer Credit Counseling Service of Savannah.
Do you go all out for the holidays? Spending a lot of money on gifts, lights, entertaining, food, and decorations? You're not alone. Many Americans feel the sting of holiday spending well into the new year. When you're out battling the holiday crowds, consider your wallet and protect your budget with these tips. First, know your limit. Buying gifts can really add up, leaving you with a hefty bill at the end of the season. So take time to plan your holiday budget before you shop. Once you've made a plan, look at ways you can trim your expenses. Consider cutting your list back this year. Try to plan ahead as much as possible, avoiding last-minute buys that will impact your budget. Once your shopping begins, there are lots of ways you can save money, whether you shop online or in stores. Look for special savings days at your favorite retail stores. Use coupons from your newspaper. Take advantage of free shipping with online purchases. Buy gifts throughout the year, not just during the peak season. The holiday season can be stressful enough without the added worries of overspending. In the end, it's all about enjoying time with friends and family. Staying focused on the joys of the season can help you keep your stress in perspective. And without all those extra holiday bills, you can start the new year on sound financial footing. From all of us here at Bank on Savannah and Consumer Credit Counseling Service, happy holidays and a prosperous new year. Until next time, I'm Richard Reeve, and you can bank on this.
Coming up on CitySpan, don't let the holiday cooking fog ruin your festivities. And later, a great way to save some holiday cash while you sleep.
Georgians are people on the move, with a wide range of choices on how they get from where they are to where they're going, and all points in between. Just remember, you're sharing your view with others. Be visible, be predictable, and be alert. No matter how you travel, follow traffic laws. Let's get there together, Georgia. A message from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety and Georgia Bikes.
Hey, Mom.
Welcome back to CitySpan. I'm Brett Bell. From baked hams to fried turkeys, it's time for holiday cooking. And that means we've got more cooking fats, oils, and grease to dispose of. But think twice before pouring that grease down the drain. Like cholesterol in your arteries, fats harden when cooled and clog up those pipes. It can lead to nasty sewage backups in your home. I've seen it, and believe me, you don't want that surprise this holiday season.
We're trying to educate the public on not pouring it down the drain.
Yes, sir.
Because if you pour the grease down the drain, although it may be in liquid form going down the drain, it sometimes coagulates in your lines, and eventually to close off your lines and you start having backups in your homes.
Improperly disposed of grease can have serious environmental impacts. Last year, grease caused about 70% of Savannah's sewage spills, often ending up in our wetlands and waterways. When you're done cooking that turkey, do the right thing. Let the grease cool, place it in a sealed container like a jar, and throw it in the garbage. You can also recycle your used cooking grease at the city's President Street wastewater plant, just east of the Truman Parkway. For more information, visit savannahga.gov. Need a break from all that cooking? Want to enjoy the region's most unique shopping experience? Then head downtown where the parking is plentiful and, on Thursdays and Fridays throughout the end of the year, free in any city garage for the first 3 hours. Go to savannahga.gov/parking for garage information. We can all do our part to help make Savannah a greener place. That's what the city's Thrive initiative is all about, helping to reduce the city's carbon footprint and promoting an eco-friendly and sustainable community. Savannah Sustainability Development Administrator Garrison Marr has an easy tip that can put cash in your pocket.
Have you ever heard a get-rich-quick scheme that promises to make you money while you sleep? Well, this month's green tip won't make you rich, but you could save a little bit of holiday cash while you sleep. How does it work? Call it the winter sleep time setback. In the wintertime, when most HVAC systems are in heating mode, many people can still be comfortable setting their thermostats back a degree or two before they sleep, letting their blankets do some of the work. For instance, a home with a thermostat set to heat the house to 68 degrees while the family is awake might be set to 67 while the family sleeps. A reasonable question might be, how much money can really be saved with a sleeping setback? Well, to find out, we ran 2 different computer models on 2 different homes. One was a 1950s construction midtown home. The other was a brand new, energy-efficient home on the city's east side. The result? The midtown home would save $31 from a 1-degree setback and $57 from a 2-degree setback in total if done throughout the winter. The east side home would save $7 from 1 degree and $19 from a 2-degree setback. The message? The more energy it takes to heat your home, the more money you may be able to save from a thermostat setback. So will you get rich? Well, I'm afraid not, but you could save a bit of holiday money while you sleep this winter. And that's one more way to think green, Savannah.
For months, we've been telling you about big changes underway at Chatham Area Transit, which is using state-of-the-art equipment to better connect Savannah. CAT's Shalonda Roundtree lets us in on what's new this month at CAT.
Hi, I'm Shalonda Roundtree with your monthly CAT update. CAT is moving closer toward the implementation of our new bike sharing program. Installation of the bike station will begin soon and should be in operation by the first of the year. In other news, CAT will be holding public meetings in January to seek input on proposed schedule changes that could occur in February or March. Meetings are scheduled for January 7th at the Bull Street Library, January 8th at Moses Jackson Community Center, January 22nd at the Joe Murray Rivers Jr. Intermodal Transit Center, and January 23rd at the Southwest Chatham Library. We value your input and look forward to your attendance at these meetings. And finally, CAT is hoping to return a piece of history to Savannah streets. If you'd like to know more about our plans to bring streetcars back to Savannah, check out our new website at catconnects.com. There you can get more information, learn about proposed funding, and see how other cities have benefited by reinstating streetcar service. Again, that's catconnects.com. All of us here at CAT would like to wish you a happy holiday season. I'm Shalonda Roundtree, and as always, thank you for catching a cat.
And finally, celebrating the joy of reading, the power of the written word, and the magic of storytelling. It's the annual Savannah Children's Book Festival, presented by the Live Oak Public Library in the city of Savannah. To create interest in the festival and help promote youth literacy, the city's Department of Cultural Affairs teamed up with the library for a student writing and poster making competition. Our cameras were on hand for a look at the posters and to hear from the aspiring young writers.
There is a monster who has a nose like a long coiled hose. Lava crawling down the slope. It was a cannibal. Snowball performed a twisted plank and blew away the mall.
Finally head to bed at midnight, but we rise as soon as there is light. I had such a fun summer, I'm glad it wasn't a bummer.
My name is Christian Cruz, and I'm Library Director at Live Oak Public Libraries. This is our 10th annual Savannah Children's Book Festival, and it started out as an idea at the library to really look at how we could engage our entire population in literature. And we decided to go with kids, and it has been a fantastic success. We see the festival has grown from one day to really, it's almost a full year event now, with things happening every month, and we're engaging with more and more and more children. People are interested in literacy, people want to read, they want to engage with the authors. This evening's event showcases that kids want to write. They want to have a forum where they can present their works. And right now we're surrounded by all sorts of posters by our poster contest winners. Kids who want to engage in the written word in a different kind of way. Use their imaginations to show a creative side of what reading means to them. So it's a fantastic event, I think. Grades K through 2 group, A Mighty Volcano by Lila Aziz, who's in grade 1 and is homeschooled. Hi, congratulations.
I go to the library to go to story time and pick out some books and movies. Well, I have My Little Pony books I like. It's about all of the friends. And I have 2 Monster High books. Miss Dixon, she's like a really good writing teacher, so she kind of inspired me to do this. I just like to write stories and stuff, and she just kind of encouraged me and stuff, and so I decided to do it.
You're never too old to pick up a kid's book and enjoy it again. Pick it up, get lost in it, it's so much fun.
The poster competition and writing contest are supported in part by the Georgia Council for the Arts and the National Endowment for the Arts. That's going to do it for this edition of CitySpan. Don't forget, for the latest news and information about the City of Savannah, keep it tuned to SGTV, visit our website at savannahga.gov, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. From all of us here at the City of Savannah, we wish you a safe and happy holiday season. Until next year, I'm Brett Bell. Thanks for watching, and thanks for making Savannah your home.